Hey, you're listening to Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady Hooker, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey.
So to start Raw off, we get John Cena going blah blah blah. Then Paul Heyman comes out and goes blah 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 because they can't pay Brock Lesnar to come in for Raw. Then Cesaro comes out and goes blah blah blah, and then we get a John Cena-Cesaro match. That sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's a lot better than that.
Yes, but it's talky-talky.
And the promo was amazing,
Psh.
though. And the match was great, too.
The match was.
But yeah, the promo was amazing, and it helped further sell the match that was already sold by Heyman's promo the week before.
But shouldn't we at least be seeing the champion and challenger on the same week?
Well, you gotta remember that, as Cena said, he's a hired mercenary. Lesnar is a hired mercenary. He shows up when he wants to, and does what he wants to do when he wants to. True.
And isn't Cesaro and Heyman meant to be split?
Yeah, and they alluded to that, and it's just he was just sticking up for his quote-unquote buddy.
Yep. It did lead to a great match, so I'm not going to complain too much, but it seems weird that Cesaro isn't with Heyman, but is with Heyman.
Cesaro seems to be in a tailspin.
Sounds about right. Like every other Heyman guy who's left.
Other than Brock Lesnar.
But Brock didn't leave Heyman. He's never left Heyman.
Yeah, he did.
How long?
When he won the WWE Undisputed Championship.
Oh, that's like ages ago. I mean, like lately.
Yeah.
Lately. In the last, 2 years. I'm talking the Robaxel and Cesaro. And possibly Punk, because he sort of tailspinned out of it as well. But he at least went up before he tailspinned.
But yeah, it's just been bad for anyone not named Brock Lesnar to be associated with Paul Heyman.
Which is weird, because it used to be a thing that if your name was said in the same sentence as Paul Heyman, you were being shot up to the stars.
Yep. Now they're releasing a DVD for Heyman.
I saw that. Is it just going to contain a lot of Heyman talking?
I'm guessing so. Probably a lot of his promos and stuff. Probably a documentary on his career itself. Stuff about ECW, things like that.
Okay. Well, after that we got Stephanie and Triple H, but we'll just sum that all up in one go.
With the main event.
Yeah. Paige and AJ. Frenemies?
Paige went off the deep end.
Yeah, I think she went off the deep end a long time ago. She was just hiding it. She's gone crazy.
But she said the word you're not supposed to say to AJ.
Crazy.
Yes.
Say it 3 times and she will appear. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Well, she got thrown off the stage for her trouble on SmackDown.
Yeah. I heard that. So AJ is injured, with air quotes around that?
Yeah, she'll probably return it. Probably not on Raw next week, but probably main event.
Okay. Main event. What a great return.
Well, they're trying to get people to buy the network. They're aiming for 1 million subscriptions, but they only have 700,000, which they've only gained about 23,000 since WrestleMania.
I think they'll get 1 million the instant that it becomes available to the world, which is in a couple of weeks.
Minus the UK.
Minus a few countries.
Yeah.
Rest of the world, majority. So after that, we got Miz and Robaxel versus Ziggler and the Usos.
I'm still saying it. The Intercontinental Championship is cursed.
Fair enough. I don't think Miz's title reign has had anything that says anything other than that.
Yeah. I know I got yelled at over it when he lost to Ziggler the first night of his championship reign.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's all the proof you need right there. a guy that you were trying to quote unquote rebuild as the Intercontinental Champion, and you make him lose a clean match in his first appearance as the new champion.
It's a great way to push him up.
And then the next week, you have him get pinned to lose a six-way tag.
I thought Ziggler pinned Ryback on this one.
Might as well have been Miz.
I
Still,
think
he was on the losing team.
yeah. If I remember what I saw, I think Miz grabbed the title and sort of stayed on the outside of the ring, very much like he did in the Battle Royal. Not doing all too much.
No, that was after the match.
Okay. I'm getting confused. I've seen way too much wrestling lately. But the main point of that is that the Nation of Domination 2.0 are watching on.
Yeah. Still not sure what their point is, or even what their name will be. Once, because they really haven't said much other than the cryptic little notes that Woods has said, whether it was on Main Event or commentating during a match on Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah. I don't know. But until they get a name, we can call them whatever we want.
Yeah.
This next match, I have no words. R-Truth randomly breaks the streak.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Ha ha ha, pun.
Yeah. But to be honestly, I couldn't believe it. There was no rhyme or reason to it. I mean, yeah, we got a little bit of character development with Bo's absolute being shocked and being able to and just demolishing R-Truth afterwards. But what the heck was the point in ending an undefeated streak with someone the caliber of R-Truth?
Yep.
I think what I read somewhere, that not even the people backstage knew why they were doing it.
I don't think anybody knew. Even the dude who made the decision to do it didn't know.
I think Vince McMahon was the only one that knew it. Why?
Well, maybe Vince is going a little mushy in the head with his old age, and is a little crazy.
Now, let me tell you this. Out of all the people who have debuted since WrestleMania from NXT, and I'm going to include Rusev, even though he debuted at Royal Rumble.
Yep.
Adam Rose is the last undefeated person. Think about that for a second.
And Adam Rose, I'm pretty sure, is the one that everybody said they've soured on.
Yeah. But he's got a party, so you could shield a lot of stuff with him, with his gimmick.
True.
Oh.
Well, we'll leave the audience thinking about that while we play our classic entrance theme. It's Bobby Lashley's WWE theme. And you're back with the Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady and Josh. So I just got to say, FreeFM is bringing fans closer to the legendary Bob Dylan. So if you're listening to the station, just stay tuned or like them on Facebook. Their Facebook page is facebook.com/FreeFM89. They're going to give away 6 double passes to his Sunday, 10th of August show at the Claudelands Event Centre. So I'm guessing that is only people in Hamilton, New Zealand. So if you're listening to this on the podcast and you're not in or around Hamilton, ignore that part. So we'll jump back into Raw. We're definitely going to be getting Swagger Rusev 2.0.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get that. Originally, this feud was supposed to be one-sided, so one-sided that it was supposed to just demolish Swagger. But Vince liked how well Zeb and Jack Swagger got over as babyfaces in this feud. They decided that they would spare Jack the humiliation of being submitted, and with the count-out loss at Battleground, and would continue to feud on.
Yeah.
And so we're probably going to end up with a flag match to continue to protect both of them.
Flag
so
on
that
a
way
pole?
you can, yep, flag on a pole on both. Probably no, 2 poles, 2 flags, 2 poles.
No, that's too far.
Flag match. You got to go get your opponent's flag.
Yeah. I'd. It's another match. Hopefully they actually, like, for a gimmick match, do wrestling. I hope there's wrestling in this match.
Both are fairly decent to pretty good wrestlers in their own right. Swagger's got that amateur background of his, so
It's whether they'll be using it in such a match, or if it'll just be constant going for the flag.
I think there'll be a lot of going for the flag, but there'll be a lot of wrestling to try to wear each other out as well.
I hope.
I figured the ending will probably be Rusev slaps on the accolade to make Swagger pass out so that he can climb the ropes because he's such a big guy.
Yeah.
And then get the American flag and break it.
I don't know. If that, then there'll be no third match. So is that what you're guessing?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm guessing they'll do it so that way with the flag match is set up so Swagger won't lose all of his momentum by being pinned or submitted.
Yeah.
And it took him getting passed out to be beaten.
So we were talking about Adam Rose before and how he's still undefeated. He managed to defeat Astronaut Sandow? I don't know what his name was.
Yeah, it was just an astronaut. Houston, we have a problem. And that problem is Dehemian Sandow.
Well, he's going from imitating, like, roles to imitating wrestlers and losing.
Yeah. It's the Charlie Haas gimmick 2.0.
Yep. I think they've also realized that they've lost their main comedy act in Santino.
Yeah. But Sandow's playing it pretty well. It's so sad when you think this time last year he could have been on the verge of possibly of breaking into the main event scene.
Yeah. I thought this guy was big. I thought he'd be a world heavyweight champion by the end of last year, I think.
Yeah, but we thought that about Cody 2 or 3 years ago when he was doing the dashing and undashing Cody Rhodes gimmicks.
Yep. We thought a lot of guys would be doing main event and never got there. And joining the titles together into one really hasn't helped that either. It's made it super hard to get into the main event scene because there's really only 2 or 3 people up there. Well, there's been 4 lately, but
It was really the biggest thing that hurt it was Daniel Bryan's injury.
true.
Because I think if Ed Bryan not gotten hurt, he would have been wrestling a lot more of different people. We wouldn't be seeing Cena Lesnar for the title at SummerSlam. We'd be seeing probably Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan for the title.
Yeah, but see, if we look at Cena, it's very hard for him to take a loss on Raw or SmackDown, and Lesnar isn't even going to fight on Raw or SmackDown. So we're not going to see a champion in a while doing sneaky little, having good matches with possibly different outcomes on Raw and SmackDown.
Well, I don't think with the title being unified so recently, I don't think the WWE World Heavyweight Champion should ever lose a non-title match.
No.
At least not for a couple of years.
Which is quite sad.
But that's what I've always believed, that the only way a champion loses a non-title match is to make the person that beats him the number 1 contender.
Yes, that should
Outright.
instantly be the number 1 contender if they beat them.
And that should only happen maybe once every couple of years, not every month. It should be something that is very rare, so that way when it happens, it's more noticeable.
So, in your mind, Dolph Ziggler is now the number 1 contender to the Miz's title?
Might as well be. That title's worthless.
No, it's not worthless. It's worth negative things, because it's a curse.
Might as well be. And honestly, what the heck has happened to Sheamus?
He's sick, isn't he?
Yeah, he didn't appear the week before, though, when he wasn't sick.
Maybe he's setting up for a feud against the Nation.
Yeah, last 2 weeks ago, he was sick. Last week, he was just at home in Ireland. He wasn't sick. He was just in Ireland instead of at Raw.
Maybe they don't want the US champ. Who knows? Maybe the US title's becoming a curse.
What I heard was his big return was on Superstars next week.
Superstars?
Superstars. Not Raw, not SmackDown, not even main event. Superstars.
Woo, return! That seems quite pathetic.
Yeah. That's why I'm wondering what the heck has happened to Sheamus.
I don't know. Maybe he annoyed someone backstage. But then again, Triple H is his friend, so it's kind of hard for him to annoy anyone. Who knows? So we'll move on. Roman Reigns, Kane, Orton Brawl.
Yeah, this had to happen. For two reasons. One, get people to hate Orton enough to see him get his butt whipped by Reigns. Secondly, it makes Reigns more human.
Yeah.
Thus, giving him an element to his character that he didn't have before this was beat down, and it will allow him to rise up against Orton and seem viable.
Well, Reigns always used to be the beater, not the BT. I don't know how to pronounce that. The one doing the beating, not the one getting beaten.
So that's why it had to happen. It had to happen to get people to care enough to hate Orton and to make him more of a believable person.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll jump into our current entrance theme of the week. Is he still TNA champ?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware of.
Okay, the TNA heavyweight champ, Bobby Lashley's TNA theme. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady and Josh. We're going to jump into Raw. Diego, El Torito, Summer Rae, Layla versus Fandango.
Where's the vampires? Because we got some slayers.
Ah. Just off air, I just asked you to not call them that, and then...
And that's exactly why I did it.
Oh. It was... Fandango is drowning. Badly.
Yeah.
It seems like he's drowning, and every time when he's just about to get out of the water, someone kicks him in the head.
And it's usually Layla or Ray.
Pretty much, yeah.
This is an interesting gimmick. You know? You have these ladies just forming alliances with random jobbers, and they get to a win over Fandango. Until he wins, he doesn't get his name pronounced right.
Okay. It seems really weird to me. I think they're trying to build those two women up as the next Lay Cool, and it's failing miserably. I don't think a gimmick like Lay Cool can be face, and when it is, it's just not as funny. For some reason, it seems more funny to me when the evil people mess with the nice people than the nice people messing with the evil people.
Yeah. But that's because they can do a lot more that makes more sense than what a face can do.
True. Yeah.
What the hero can do.
So, I don't know. Maybe we'll see them switch and go to Fandango. You never know.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Fandango will go crazy and he'll return as Johnny Curtis.
Yeah. But he has a chip on his shoulder and he painted himself into a corner and various other puns.
Yeah, they'll carry Fandango out in a straitjacket. The straitjacket that's originally intended for Dean Ambrose. But they'll take Fandango out in it, and he'll come back a couple weeks later as Johnny Curtis.
Okay. So it seems you want to kill off like all the extra gimmicks we've just got given. Just kill them all off.
I just want to kill this gimmick off because I think it's run its course, and it's time that we got a serious character for him.
Okay. Well, it seems they found who has the cosmic key.
They have it. They didn't say who, though.
We all know who.
Yeah, it's got to be the Usos.
Oh, really? You're going with the Usos?
Yeah, I think it's got to be the tag team titles.
It's they, so it's a group. So it's at least 2 or more people.
I would have figured if it was the Guardians of the Galaxy, they would have specifically spelled it out there because the Guardians debuting on Friday.
Yeah.
So since they didn't spell it out there, it has to be the tag team titles.
Yay. At least we get them back in the ring soon, hopefully.
Yeah, they'll probably still end up beating Robaxel.
No, they'll win a proper match with proper competitors. Not the tag team jobbers of the world. Natalya and Naomi took on Cameron and Alicia Fox. And Naomi made Cameron get her just desserts.
And this is the only way that poor Natalya is going to win a match.
Yeah, it's kind of sad but true. I think Natalya is definitely sliding down.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all I have to say.
So, we'll move on. Earlier in the night, Jericho sort of pissed off the Authority, so he got himself a match with Seth Rollins.
The match was pretty good, but yeah, that whole promo was a rehash of his promo from 2000, but it was a good rehash. It was a good one.
So, it seems Brie Bella is rehired, and she's having a match with Stephanie at SummerSlam.
Yeah, all the while getting slapped off the apron to the floor below in what a pretty nasty looking fall.
Yeah, but who didn't see this coming? The rehiring in the match.
Yeah, especially once she got arrested.
Yeah.
Because once she got arrested, you knew that was it. That was over.
So, I don't know, where are we heading for that? It seems everyone's trying to ignore the fact that Triple H ditched his wife except for Jericho.
Yeah, I think that they had been booking on the fly. Because I think it was supposed to be an integral part of the story, and they decided, well, we'll not do that. Instead, we want them to focus on Stephanie and Brie.
Yeah.
So we'll ignore that little thing we set up.
That makes sense.
And I guess they did.
It just never happened.
Yep.
Okay, so we're about to run out of time, so it's been great talking to you, Josh.
Peace.
So you can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or our Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling Radio, or our website, wrestlingroundup.host22.com, wrestlingroundup.host22.com. It's got links to every single episode we've ever played, all 72 of them now, I think, and all of the interviews we've conducted. So I'll see you next week.